Hey guys, this is my top 5 of the 1940s. Started out with the decade of 2000, 2009, and I've worked my way to the 40s. I think I'm going to stop when I get to the 30s, but we will see. So first up, at number 5, is a movie that I just learned of within the last year or so, but I've come to really like this movie a lot. I've watched it a couple times. No surprise to some of you, it's a Criterion Collection piece from 1948 by Vittorio De Sica, called Bicycle Thieves. And it's just such a simple story that gets a lot of mileage. It's the story of a family who's in post-war Italy. There's no jobs around. They sell their bed linens to get his bike out of hock, and because he got a job hanging up posters all across Rome, and someone steals his bicycle, and so the entire family, their fortune, their possibility of goodwill or of making some money, surviving, is all caught up in this bicycle and in the thieves that stole it. So he and his son go off in search of this. This is a thick edition. You've got a couple DVDs and then the actual thick or proper booklet. I'm not going to open these. I believe I've showcased these before somewhere on my channel. So if you want me to show anything in depth, I can certainly do that. But for right now, number 5, Bicycle Thieves. Beautiful picture in Italian with English subtitles, but you almost don't even need to know what's being said to know what's happening here. So that's at number 5, Bicycle Thieves. Next up at number 4 is a tie. It's a tie for a couple reasons, but the first one in the tie is Miracle on 34th Street. I'm a sucker for Christmas movies, and the 40s churned out a couple real beauties. Miracle on 34th Street was one of them. The young Natalie Wood, Edmund Gwynn, who won an Academy Award that year, I believe it was 1947, for Miracle on 34th Street. Just a beautiful, beautiful film. And the other one, and you probably could guess it, right? But if not, here it is. Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart, Donna Reed. This movie's been imitated so many times. Basically, the story is, what would life be like if you never existed? And he's down on his luck. The Baileys have the building and loan. It's been in the family. They're trying to help people to get ahead. You've got the evil banker here who's trying to take over the town. Played by Lionel Barrymore, by the way. Just a great story. It's a great love story. It's a great Christmas story. It's a feel-good story. Frank Capra, It's a Wonderful Life, along with Miracle on 34th Street, come in, for me anyway, at number 4. I had to pick one higher, it'd be this one, but I wanted to put both of them together. So that's those two. And next up, close this iPad too here. And next up is my number 3 selection, which is John Ford's The Grapes of Wrath, starring Henry Fonda. Saw this movie in school when I was a kid. They had the old, I think, 16 millimeter or whatever it was, hooked up the projector and showed it to all of us. These are the pre-DVD days, and maybe it was a VHS tape. I don't remember anymore. I think it was on a 16 millimeter, maybe not. Anyway, watched it when I was a kid in school. Really liked it then. Liked it, and still like it now. It's a classic movie. It's the story of the families heading west during the Dust Bowl era, trying to find work. Much like the Bicycle Thieves in Italy, he and his family are up against it. They have no money, and anyway, they're headed out trying to make their fortune out west, and it's not an uplifting movie, nor is Bicycle Thieves. So I picked a couple depressing ones here in my top 5. But Grapes of Wrath, great film. Won an Academy Award for Best Director. John Ford should have won. Henry Fonda won for this role too, but it wasn't until many years later before he would get an Academy Award. But anyway, Henry Fonda, Grapes of Wrath, great actor, great movie. And nice thing about Grapes of Wrath is great minor characters in this movie too. So even though they weren't necessarily the stars, and they weren't even necessarily big stars, or even stars at all, they were great in the movie. So, sign of a good movie and a good director, John Ford. In at number 3. And number 2, Carol Reed's The Third Man, another Criterion Collection edition. And this one's hard to come by. This is the DVD, not the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray goes for a fortune. I was able to get the DVD relatively cheap, but the Blu-ray goes for like $100, and I wasn't paying that for the movie. I think I got this for maybe $25. So it was a really good deal, considering it sold for $30 or $40 when it was new, and it's out of print. It's been out of print for a while. There's tons of extras on this. Yeah, the Blu-ray would be better, but you know what? I'm sticking with the DVD, and I like it. It's a nice box set, pretty thick, a couple DVDs, nice booklet inside. Carol Reed, also starring as Harry Lime, is Orson Welles is in this movie, as is Joseph Cotton. I don't know if I want to tell the story. Well, I'll tell a little bit. Joseph Cotton comes in search of his friend, who supposedly is dead. And he comes to Vienna, Paris or Vienna? Vienna. Post-war Vienna to try to find his friend. The movie has a haunting score on the zither, which if you've never heard of zither before, it's kind of a spooky-sounding flute-like sort of instrument, I guess. Well, not even flute-like. I guess it's more of a stringed... I have to hear it. It's a strange instrument, but a beautiful score on it. Carol Reed's The Third Man. It's on a lot of people's best of list, but it certainly makes mine at number 2. Now, number 1 probably should be no surprise. It's one of the things I've double dipped. It's Citizen Kane. I actually own 3 copies. One on DVD, one on Digibook, and then this one I got off eBay really cheap. Also, well, relatively cheap. 70th anniversary, which also came with as kind of a bonus. Another movie from the 40s, The Magnificent Ambersons, also came with that one. It was kind of a bonus deal when I got this one. But great movie. If you've never seen it, you should. It's been called by many the greatest film of all times. For me, it probably is. I can think of a couple others that give it a run for its money. But overall, it's a great film. The Digibook is great. Has a lot of good stuff on that. This is a great restoration. I don't know if they'll ever be able to do any better than this. Great plot. A young newspaper man who is idealistic and wants to be successful and is successful. And as he gets older, he becomes more jaded, and that jadedness then turns him into someone who's not all that likable, and he lives kind of a lonely existence with his wealth. The movie actually had so many interesting things with it. It starts at the end. In other words, you see him die in the very first moments of the film, saying Rosebud, and then you're left with trying to figure out what the heck Rosebud meant throughout the rest of the film, and it is explained at the end. Well, it's sort of explained at the end, close enough, and it's not necessarily a movie that's puzzling in what it means. It's fairly straightforward, but you may want to watch it more than once just to see the magnificent film shots and acting and cinematography. Not a lot of choreography in Citizen Kane, but it's a great movie. I'd recommend it on either the Digibook or the Ultimate Collector's Edition. It's sold out with Ambersons, but you can still get just this box set, which alone is worth it. So that is my top 5 from the 40s, guys. What's yours? Be interested to see them. For now, that's it. Next time I'll be back with the 30s.